Welcome to the 28th episode of the Broken Pictures podcast / YouTube show, where we discuss the top 3 things in pop culture and entertainment that you may have missed this week.
There could potentially be spoilers for your favorite TV shows, movies, video games, and or comics. You have been warned. This is...
The FOMO Show.
Sorry, my bad. The FOMO Show.
The FOMO Show.
Hey nerds, this is Dylan.
And I'm Lydia.
This is Quin.
Once again, we'd like to say thanks for joining us by YouTube or podcast. Hello to all of our new watchers or listeners in the States and internationally. A special thank you to those of you who are returning. If you want to keep the conversation going or support the show, you can of course comment below, but you can also find the info in the episode notes or at the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. Also leave us voice messages or questions that we can play on the show. Go to www.anchor.fm/the FOMO Show. YouTube viewers, please like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon.
Ding.
Ding.
For notifications of new videos. Podcast listeners, please leave us 5 stars in your podcast app.
Yes, please like all around town. Just help us fight the power, the YouTube algorithm. So,
You ready?
all right. So, any special notes? Anybody?
It's my mother's birthday. It's
Happy-
my mom's birthday. I should say that normally so she can. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Quinn's mom.
Happy birthday, Mom. Yay.
Yay!
She got like a cake from the baby shower, so she has plenty of cake. Which I didn't think, like, everybody ate all the cake. I was expecting like half the cake to be gone, not like 3/4.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's fine.
He wanted to bring some cake home.
I did, but it's okay. It's cool. It's fine.
Is that a sticker on your lip there?
It's from the water bottle.
Okay. It looks like the collector today. Yeah. I mean, if you've watched, you know that Quinn always brings something special to the show. He's got his original takes. So, what are you guys into this week? Oh, sorry, spoiler alert, in case you missed that at the beginning. We will get spoilery. We're not going to spoil your favorite fandoms on purpose, but we will discuss newsworthy topics. And what are you guys into this week? What did you watch, listen to, play, read, whatever? Let us know down in the comments below, and let us know if it's worth missing or don't miss. Miss or miss out? No, that's the same thing, isn't it? Miss or don't miss.
Yeah.
So, this week, of course, I've been playing The Witcher still. Yeah, I'll be playing The Witcher for the rest of my life, probably. There's like 28, 38 possible outcomes or something. It's
There's
insane.
a lot, yeah.
It's crazy.
Choose wisely, because you might just end
Yeah,
up
I think
dead.
I might have messed up the Bloody Baron one. But
Okay, you'll be fine. You'll be okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
so you got it wrote down. We started watching The Boys.
The boys
Yeah, we've
are
watched-
back.
We watched like 2 episodes or whatever. Yeah. It was interesting. The Wonder Woman-ish woman is called Maeve. Like
she's
my
Wonder
daughter's name is
Woman
Maeve.
and
Black Widow.
Black Widow fused together.
Yeah. But yeah, she's got the same name as my daughter, so it's kind of weird.
She does.
Yeah, and like I was talking to Maeve about this the other day. Actually, yesterday we were getting her back to school haircut because kids are going back to school. I guess that's a special note. Yeah, welcome back to school and out the door. So yeah, it was like growing up. My name, Dylan. I mean, like everybody knew who Bob Dylan was, right? Everybody knew who Matt Dylan was. But I grew up in a small town, and people were like, Dylan. Like,
What?
yeah, spit out fire.
Dylan.
Yeah, if you don't get that reference.
I get that reference.
That's for
Wow.
Eddie. My buddy Eddie from Hard Rock calls me Dylon. So yeah, I mean it was a not common name growing up, so people mispronounced it or whatever, but now it's everywhere. But it's kind of weird seeing the same thing happen with Maeve. Like, like I had never heard the name. It was kind of original. It's like an Irish princess name. But now, like, there's Maeve on Westworld. Now there's Maeve on The Boys. Like, it's kind of out there now.
Please tell Lydia and Quintaro about your name. Please tell us.
It's name privilege right there. I didn't even know.
Not only did we start The Boys, I watched G-Force for the first time at Pizza Movie Night.
Yeah.
Definitely a miss. Dylan was like, oh, it's kind of cute.
We watched it, yeah. It was one of those that's like, when it first came out, I didn't want to see it because it looked dumb. And it ended up being better than I expected. So I was like, oh, it's good. And it kind of grew in the back of my mind that it was better than it was. Because it kind of reminded me of like Chris Rock's guinea pig on Dr. Dolittle. But it's like that times 10 and it's not good.
Not at all.
But at the time, like, it's pretty old. When it came out, it was like really different. And there wasn't any like complicated bad guys or anything like that.
Yeah.
They did that. So. Yeah.
We watched First Summoning, which is on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, don't miss it, and don't miss Dylan Law in that one.
Yeah, I didn't get to speak, but I was a church person in there.
He's definitely there.
One of the first movies I got to do when we moved up here, over in Harrison, Arkansas, and it features prominently. It's definitely Arkansas in the story. It's like a Blair Witch kind of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of jump scares. It's a fun one.
And then of course I'm still watching The Office again.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to mention, like, I got to work with a bunch of my film friends, like Buddy Campbell, and saw Janice in there. Janice Dooley. I didn't realize that she was in there. Like, yeah, a couple people that I didn't realize were in there that I know and are work with on a regular basis now. Also, I got to meet Haley, I cannot remember her last name. The original Wasp. In Avengers 1, she was the body double. She played the Wasp. She played Janet in the original, in the Avengers before they cast Michelle Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer. I can't talk today. And Jason McDonald, who was in The Accountant and several other things. He plays the preacher. He's super creepy.
The Accountant.
Anyways,
that was the one with Ben Affleck?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And he's kicking butt and taking names over there in Atlanta. And his wife, you will know from Stranger Things. She is the little blonde.
Oh.
And I cannot remember her name for the life of me right now. I am so sorry.
The little blonde from the beginning?
Yeah, that's tracking.
He does not look that old. She looks much older than him.
I don't know their situation.
Yeah, we want to be talking. We're 15 years apart.
But I know he's Canadian.
He better look older than me. All right.
So
this is
what did
did
you say what you were into this week?
No. I was what did I do? I've been doing a lot of research for this campaign of
D&D,
running.
baby.
Yep. I have an outline of how it's gonna go, but I literally went through just about every mythology and everything that could exist to find some way for this to work, and now I have, and now
I hope so, because it's this afternoon.
yeah. Well, it's gonna be a very long story, but it'll be fun.
You right there, Lydia?
Well, there's a bunch of hair loose on me. I don't mind it when it's attached, but there we go.
And then what else have I been watching? Final Space and wrestling. That's about it.
You finished up The Boys already, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I savored it as much as I could, but then I was like, nope, I need to know how it ends.
They're working on. They posted a photo. They started filming season 2.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
All right. So now we're on to number 1 movie.
You.
All right. So now the number 1 movie of the week is still Hobbs and Shaw. For some reason. Even though
Agreed.
like the price, like not the price, but like how much is made, I looked at it the other day, it dropped like 56%, but it's still like $25 million that they made last week. So I'm like, well, that's cool. But the number 4 movie I feel like should really be noted because somehow it's Dora the Explorer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually don't hate this movie.
I didn't think, like, watching the trailer, I was like, huh, I'd watch this.
It is
Yeah.
very
Tongue in cheek.
The Fairly Odd Summer, if y'all remember that movie. That's what it makes me think of.
Fairly Odd Parents type, you know.
It was a Fairly Odd Parents live action movie that they did.
Drake Bell.
Yep.
Oh, facts.
That's what it makes me feel like. Like it
That's-
takes me to another time and place.
I can't help but see Drake Bell in not another superhero movie.
Ah!
He pees on himself.
I
and it's-
remember
yeah,
that
that's
movie.
all I can see.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's so
Sorry.
many movies out there that exist that we forgot about.
Yeah. Just
For a
things in
reason.
general.
Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess what blows my mind is that we're looking at Hobbs and Shaw that is basically performing about the same rate as The Lion King. I mean, not monetarily, so I mean that
That's
makes a big difference. But
ridiculous.
2 weeks at number one, better audience score, better critic score than The Lion King.
This movie is
That
just literally.
you're talking
cars
about a
and
Fast and
explosions.
Furious spin-off.
Hobbs and Shaw isn't a live action movie about African safari animals.
Still,
What?
I mean, The Rock
mean,
is
it's
basically
not.
a safari
like that-
animal himself.
oh,
Oh,
it's
hush.
not. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not taking
Yeah.
something from our childhood and spinning it and trying to force it
Well,
down our throats.
But yeah, and that's the point I'm making is
Yeah.
that like a Fast and Furious spin-off is doing as well as The Lion King. Like that says a lot.
Exactly.
The rating is better. People are enjoying
It says a
more.
lot for Hobbs and Shaw, and it says a lot for The Lion King at the same time.
Yeah, I think the
Explosions and cars.
yeah, and the expectation levels, like you don't expect a lot from a Fast and Furious movies besides just popcorn fun, right?
Mm.
But Lion King, you expect a little depth and some entertainment, so, like that heartwarming feeling. You expect some heart with it, and it just apparently did not get there.
Mm.
Like you have to. It sucks that you got to lower your standards for
Aw.
that,
Fandom.
But I mean, like Hobbs and Shaw, you going in, this is not an Oscar caliber film.
If it was, you'd be like thoroughly surprised.
Yeah. Whereas like the original Lion King was Oscars all over the place.
Yeah.
So
It's a masterpiece.
yeah, and we expected the same with the new one. It just did not do it.
Not at all.
So yeah, holding tight at 89% audience score. That's pretty good for Hobbs and Shaw.
Fast and Furious 7.5.
Basically.
Yeah.
8.5.
Which is funny because The Lion
8.5,
King
yeah.
had a 1.5.
Oh.
So
They did. I had that movie. I watched it
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot.
that was actually a good one.
I loved
Yeah,
that one.
That was fun.
Because Timon and Pumbaa.
I think that's what The Lion King didn't take itself too seriously, but it delivered though.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I guess, just it was baked in with like the realness of the lions instead. It seemed to take itself seriously, even though it probably
I had
didn't.
heard that Scar was not how he looked in the original movie, and I don't like that. That in and of itself, I know that he's a lion and he should be colored like normal lions, but I'm not about it.
Yeah, Boss Logic and another artist, I can't remember who it was, went back and like made their faces and their coloring look
Like they did
like
in the movie.
real mixed with the cartoon. And at first I was like, what is this abomination? It's so weird looking. But the more I see it, the more I'm like, okay.
I only saw one picture
I
once,
feel
so my face is
happier
still
when
like
I
that.
look at these.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like this cartoon face on a real lion is just weird looking. But I don't know.
Slightly
Some people
happier.
are really liking it.
All right. I guess that's it for movie.
Also, look for very soon. We're going to have posted on the Broken Pictures website where you can go get tickets through Fandango. So do us a favor and go through there, and it won't cost you anything extra. All right.
All right, 50 cents. Not 50 cents.
Yeah.
Nelly?
Nelly. Thank you.
Uh,
That took me a second.
Who's from St. Louis, by the way? Shout out. Anyway, yeah, go to the Broken Pictures website, and it won't cost you anything extra, but it will help us out. We appreciate that very, very much. So, the top 3 this week, according to us, well, we could go into Jeffrey Epstein and some of the big
Oh,
things
Lord.
that are all over the place right now that are big things in entertainment happening in the world, pop culture for sure. But we're going to try to stay out of the political stuff and more into the fun,
Just
positive
super real
stuff.
quick though.
Yeah.
The whole Jeffrey Epstein things, there's so many conspiracy theories that didn't came out. That I'm like watching the news this morning, I'm like, why? There's so many of these.
The memes are so rich right now.
I love conspiracy theories, and I latch on to anyone I can find, and this has got to be my favorite
Yeah.
so far.
But yeah, what I love is that even the news right now, like New York Post is like very inconsistent things going on with
It's like,
you think?
something don't add up here, y'all.
It's like that meme where she's like doing the math in her head.
Yeah.
John, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're
When we go live, I need to get that as a button. Like those things pop up on that screen like
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's our faces instead.
yeah, exactly.
All right. Actual number one. Mike. Yeah, I was about to say Michael F. Fox. Michael J. Fox.
Alternate universe.
Michael J. Fox trending on everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, things.
All
Why?
of it.
Why is he Why is he twinding again?
Well, because he's Michael J. Fox.
Oh,
For-
silly wabbits.
For no reason at all, apparently. Like, yeah, the way Lydia was telling me about it is that, like, he's trending, and everybody was like, "Oh no, Michael J. Fox is trending, he's dead, oh my god!" But then they're like, "Wait, what?
He's
No.
not dead.
What is going on? Nothing is going on. He's just trending." So there's nothing really to talk about other than, well, Lydia's got a
I have
conspiracy theory.
theories. No, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just a theory as to why I think he might be trending.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I think he's trending because, get this, Michael J. Fox was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 1991, 1992. He's had Parkinson's for years. Has a big
Yep.
foundation around Parkinson's. This is an ongoing thing he has dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams was diagnosed with Parkinson's 2 years before he died.
Right.
And was just now facing the beginning signs of the battle with Parkinson's.
Right.
Robin Williams' death anniversary was on August 11th. I think a bunch of people looked up Robin Williams. They saw he had Parkinson's. They Googled Parkinson's. Michael J. Fox comes up because he's the #1 foundation for Parkinson's disease. He comes up. Everybody starts Googling his name. He's a Google trend. He gets on Yahoo as trending, and then Twitter hits him up.
Boom. That actually makes perfect sense.
That's how I think it connects.
Solved it right here.
That is what I think happened because, why else? Michael J. Fox is fine. He's actually at like a really good stage. He's doing fine. He's been retired for 20 years now?
Yeah, he comes out and does stuff here and there.
Right, but he isn't actively.
So we're what was that?
Season 3. No,
Scrubs.
2. Nope. Hold on.
Larry
He was
David.
on Scrubs.
Yeah.
Was on Scrubs. I just watched the show
Larry David
Buttholes.
Babies and
Curb
Butthead?
Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
He's on that too.
He
My
was.
goodness, what was the name of that show?
I can't Google buttholes.
Designated Survivor. Designated Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That wasn't
Yeah.
that long ago either.
No.
Yeah, that actually just got canceled by Netflix.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh well.
And Netflix is sweeping through. Cutting
We're not
everything.
going to get into that.
Yeah. So anyway,
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. So we just figured, hey, you know what? He's trending. Who doesn't love Michael J. Fox? Well, I know who. Rush Limbaugh. That's who. But
What?
he made fun of Michael J.
We're not
Fox for
gonna-
Parkinson's and stuff.
Oh.
But anyways, so we just decided to turn it into a Michael J. Fox appreciation post. Yeah, because he's awesome.
He is.
So yeah, I grew up watching Michael J. Fox. He came up on oh my god, I'm going blank right now.
No, I'm going to let you sit here and think about it.
Wow.
He played Alex Keaton on
Which is the cutest little meme ever right now. It was like Michael J. Fox trending and the little girl's in his arms and she's like, and then she gives him this giant hug and it's like, yeah, that's how we all feel right now.
yeah. So I want for some reason I want to say facts of life, but that is not correct. Please help me out.
Nope.
Teen Wolf.
Well, we're getting there. Oh, come on, we're wasting time. Just tell me what the thing is.
No.
Back to the Future. What are you talking about?
The TV show. He came up on Back. He didn't. Back to the Future was not a TV show.
Okay, well, I wasn't born. I'm sorry, I don't know what TV show you're talking about.
Equally wasn't born.
Will you Google it, please? I'm drawing a blank. I feel like an idiot right now. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah. So he played Alex Keaton on this TV show, Family Ties.
Was it Family
Was
Ties?
that it?
Yeah, Family Ties. And he was a sitcom star. Like, he grew up on Family Ties, and it was like one of those shows that, like the Waltons, like when it ended, like they came out on stage and, you know, and bowed and everything. It was a big deal. It was a huge deal. It was one of the biggest shows of the time. And he was the big star that came out of it. And there was kind of like, you know, some drama supposedly between him and the guy that played the dad, because he became the big star and the dad didn't. And there was like, and Michael J. Fox was kind of flexing at the time. He was young
Flexing.
yeah, he was young and kind of pushing his weight around a little bit, and had just kind of like got into the Back to the Future on accident. They had originally cast somebody else who was a friend of the mom. I am drawing a blank on everybody's names right now, but it played his mom.
Meredith Baxter is the actress's name. It looks like Elise. I don't know how to say that. Elise. Right there.
I don't know. She's looking up. She's talking about the mom on Family Ties. I'm talking about the mom on Back to the Future now. We're past that. I figured out the name. So anyway, yeah. So the guy that was originally cast was a friend of the lady that played the mom on Back to the Future. And she even says in the interview that I was watching, you know, I got all up in my feelings. She didn't say that, but she got upset because she was a movie star and Michael J. Fox is a sitcom star, and the guy that they got booted, like they were 5 weeks in or something, like had filmed it wasn't working out, so the director took him aside, Richard Zemeckis, and was like, it's not working out, so they sent him home. And that was her buddy, and then they brought in a sitcom star, and she's like, oh my god. But he turned out to be amazing, obviously, for obvious reasons. And so I mean, anybody can go back and see Back to the Future and like that quirky kid, you know, not sass, but underdog type thing. It's like almost the same type of thing that Tom Holland has now, where he's like the Spider-Man, Peter Parker type deal.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, it's like same vibe.
Yeah.
Same vibe.
I see what you're saying. Yep.
He's like this generation's Michael J. Fox.
That's a really big comparison.
I honestly think so. Like there's a clip that I saw where he's like fixing himself, looking in the mirror, and he's like doing this, and his hair's flipping or whatever, and I was like, that's Michael J. Fox.
McFly's color scheme was blue, white, and red. He was
It was actually orange. He had an orange jacket.
That was red. Everything else I see was red. You might be colorblind.
Y'all.
I might be colorblind.
Well, now I have to look it up and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, he got like the last minute got cast as Marty McFly, and
That's
like,
definitely red, Dylan.
okay, cool. No. You're looking at the jacket from part 2. Look at the vest from part 1.
Okay.
I'm done. I ain't looking up nothing else.
Yeah. So anyways,
Okay.
yeah, he came in and his agent was like, hey, they want this, you know, quirky little squirt guy to play this, you know, that's got something to prove. And whereas like the Alex Keaton character was more ordered and straightforward, and Marty McFly is like kind of holding it all together, you know. And Michael J. Fox said it's actually more like him. Marty is actually more like him. But anyway, he came in, he did the thing, and he said he thought that he failed. And he was like, I'm so sorry, let me do it again. I know I messed it up, I'll do better. And his agent was just like, are you kidding me? Like, you nailed it. They love you. And he's like, oh, okay. So he obviously got the role, and the rest is history. And he was like America's sweetheart, you know, for forever. And, you know, was Teen Wolf, which is supposed to be like a teen movie. Like teen movies now and teen movies then, or kids movies then and kid movies now are completely different. Like there's a 7 minutes in heaven scene in Teen Wolf that is not necessarily kid friendly that I watched with my kids thinking, oh, Teen Wolf from when I was a kid. Who knew? So, yeah, I mean, he was in The Frighteners. He was in all kinds of stuff, right? Growing up, like there was even a war movie, and but like came up alongside like several other people like Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie.
Chaplin? No.
Nope.
I don't know why I said Charlie Chaplin.
RDJ was actually in the running for Marty McFly too.
Oh.
Yeah, he came up along him, and so like these are contemporaries. Lydia's texting people right now.
I was Googling.
Oh, my bad. So anyways, like came up with these people and really blew it out the box and became America's sweetheart. And you guys are not chipping in. I feel like I'm just kind of out here.
Well, this is your thing now. You done took it and running with it.
Molly Ringwald?
Just throwing out John Hughes type things.
That's all I got.
Yeah, so he came up in that era, like the John Hughes era and that kind of thing in the 80s. And was really just, I mean, he could do no wrong. And everybody loved him. And he did kind of get too big for his britches. And but as he matured, just became just like a really well-rounded individual, and everybody liked him. And like there's interviews of him on David Letterman, like when he's grown and he's starting Spin City, and he's talking about, you know, like how when he worked on Family Ties, he had like a regular type job and he didn't appreciate it. Now that he's got 3 kids and a dad, and he's like, now I get to actually go to work every day and have a regular job, and it's so nice. He's like, I did not appreciate that at all. But yeah, so I mean, he's just a good, likable, roundabout guy, well-rounded guy, and then, you know, of course, like Parkinson's, and his he's so driven as a person that like he didn't even tell his wife about his Parkinson's thing for 7 years. He kept that a secret because he didn't want to disturb her with it, like people even made the comparisons. It was like, you know, oh, you see these other people with Parkinson's, does that scare you? And he's like, not really, because it's just a fact. I don't get depressed. It's not a tragedy. It's just a fact of my life, and I'm not where they're at. So, you know, I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna get upset about it. He's just very straightforward. Very likable.
Yes.
He sounds like he's very matter of fact about it. We won't get into the controversy of the fact that he lied to his wife for 7 years about an illness.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I mean, you can look at it as like, oh, wow, that's so heroic. And also that's kind of crappy.
Yeah, I'm sure she was pretty upset. But, you know, of course, like when it came out, she stood by him and everything. They have a great relationship as far as we know. But, of course, there was, like, he supported this political candidate because of stem cell research and wanting to fight Parkinson's. And that if you go to the Michael J. Fox Foundation online, you can support Parkinson's and some of the big research that they're doing.
Parkinson's disease research.
Mm-hmm.
You can't support Parkinson's.
I'm sorry. Don't support actual Parkinson's. Just support the research. I see what you're saying. So, yeah. So, anyways, he kind of supported a candidate and made a video. And he was very shaky, and Rush Limbaugh made fun of him, and that was kind of like one of the things that brought him back into the limelight-ish, because he kind of stepped away for a little while, and to be with his family and deal with stuff, you know, and ended up Rush Limbaugh apologized, and basically everybody jumped on Rush Limbaugh and was like, "You can't do that. Like, leave him alone. He's Michael J. Fox."
Nor should you do that to any human being.
Exactly.
If I see Rush Limbaugh on the street.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. So, you know, like accused him of lying and playing it up or whatever. It was like, oh, I've never seen him do this, and now he's all this. And anyways, but Michael J. Fox was like, you know, I'm not mad at him. You know, he's like, I welcome people saying their truth because now I know who they are. So he's like, this is America, freedom of speech. It's like, you know, we'll let the free market sort it out. So yeah. So yeah, just appreciation, Michael J. Fox, living a hard life, but keeping positive. I saw something that said he was, you know, now in his later years, he's kind of struggling a little bit, staying positive, but he's always been a force of positivity and just a fighter, you know, and even showing up on these other shows where he's playing characters who have Parkinson's or have issues, like on Scrubs. I think his character had OCD or something, like extreme OCD.
Yeah.
And he was a huge germaphobe. He played Kevin on Scrubs for season 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like,
Yeah, great character.
He always had that tick. You just
Yep.
touch his head.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even like if you go back and you watch like some of these interviews before he came out saying that he had it, like you can see like some of the fidgetiness and stuff that he was dealing with at the time, and everybody just thought, oh, that's just him, you know, being fidgety.
Yeah.
But also like even going on like Curb Your Enthusiasm, or the enthusiasm. I'm sorry.
Your enthusiasm.
Yeah, and letting Larry David make fun of him, and it's like, you know, it's like even poking fun at himself, you know, just not being too in his feelings about it, I guess, and just being a great sport, and which is, you know, hard to say because not everybody has the same strength, you know, and not everybody that goes through that can do that. And I'm not saying that they're bad or anything; they're not good sports, but you know, obviously.
Yeah, I saw this thing. I think it was actually this morning. It was like, just because people's plate doesn't get full as quick as yours does, or anything like that, doesn't mean that their plate was built the same. It could have been broken at some point, like figuratively, you know. And some people have paper plates, so it just can't withstand what you can withstand, you know. And so Michael J. Fox has obviously been built with a really tough ceramic plate, and we're thankful for it.
Yeah, he's a hero. He's a great guy, and we just want to appreciate him, even though he hasn't really done anything besides just be himself. So we're thankful to still have him on this planet as a force of good and a force of positivity, and just keep doing your thing, man. Just want to encourage you and say, hey, we love you. If you ever see this,
Because he's
hey,
gonna look
you
at
never
this
know.
for encouragement one day.
You never know. Could go viral-ish. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So it's not the internet or anything. But
We'll see you in the next Back to the Future.
Hey.
all right. Number 2.
Okay, well.
You can't tell me nothing. So
You really can't tell them nothing because for the 19th week in a row, the Old Town Road remix with Lil Nas X featuring Billy Ray Cyrus. I was about to call him something else. I don't know what is with me and names today. That's all. They for 19 weeks, Little Old Town Road.
I like it.
That's one of the remixes, probably.
Has been sitting at number 1 at the Billboard Top 100.
Yep.
And it doesn't look like they're going anywhere.
Nope.
Like, really, the only song that's, like, close to trying to dethrone them is Billie Eilish's Bad Guy.
Oh, yeah.
But still, no, it's not happening.
It ain't gonna happen.
But, yeah.
The last song to even trend for 14 weeks was Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. So, if that tells you anything about how big of a deal that this is, it should tell you nothing.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, just coming from the 40-year-old dad scenario, like, I have avoided this song as long as possible, and I cannot avoid it anymore. It is out there making and breaking records. I mean, it's insane. And the last song to be remixed as much as this was the Macarena. It's the most remixed song ever, and I avoided the Macarena just because. I mean, I'm not particularly a pretentious person, but there's certain things I don't like, and it's not my thing.
So when you say the most remixed song, what do you mean?
Like, there's the original, and then there's remixes, like a club remix, this remix.
Okay, that other people have created.
Right, or just a different version of that song.
That Lil Nas X has created?
Well, it was like, so there's another one, like, that's on Amazon Music. I thought it was, like, the normal one. I say normal, even though it's a remix.
It's hard to find the original one at this point.
With the Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X. But it was Lil Nas X, but it was featuring, like, Young Thug Medusa? I don't know who that is.
Oh, see, I saw another one with the little yodeling boy.
Yeah, like, there's so many, like... so many remixes. There's another one with like 2 Chainz. There's just so many out there.
One with Cardi B.
Yeah.
In there?
I think him and Cardi B.
No, he sings Rodeo is his song with Cardi B.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, even the Billy Ray Cyrus one that everybody knows about is a remix of
the original.
Song. Yeah.
Yeah. And this wouldn't have happened if the country music billboard people originally why Billy Ray Cyrus is like, I'm gonna help this kid out, is because when the song debuted, it debuted on the hip hop charts and the country music charts. Country music charts, after like I think a week, took it off, said no, this isn't a country song. And Billy Ray Cyrus is like, it has a banjo, what more do you want? And he's like, helped him out, and now 19 weeks later, well, pretty sure longer than that, but 19 weeks later, still number one.
Yeah, New York Post has a YouTube video, it's like Diary of a Song or whatever. They interview and show like how it came through or whatever. And like literally, like he didn't have a job at the time. Like Lydia will probably get more into this, but he had just quit college. He said he was using his auntie's bathroom. I gotta say it right. Auntie, not auntie. His auntie's bathroom and his grandma's bathroom and their closets, and as studios at the time. And that's where he was recording a bunch of stuff and putting it out on a SoundCloud. So he already had like his thing going and knew what he was trying to do. And he was already big on Twitter and had came up using social media and really was able to use that for his own purposes. And then when it came out, well, he said he just scrolls through YouTube and he hears a lot of beats and gets a lot of beats off of YouTube and stuff. And he pulled this beat that was basically had sampled a 9 Inch Nails song. And the dude is from the Netherlands. And it's just like, he showed like, this is my studio. And it was basically like a desk in an attic or something with 2 speakers and a keyboard and a screen. And he was like, this is where I work from. He's like, I can mix your beats fast in a day. Just let me know. And he said he puts the stuff out and he found the beat, mixed it or didn't mix it for him. Like he reached out to him. Lil Nas X reached out to him and got the beat and everything and then put it out. And then somebody put it on a video that was already made, kind of like a TikTok type deal. And it went from there, and then it just kept rolling. And then it got taken off, and he's like, "Hey, Billy Ray Cyrus is the perfect person to do this song with." He's like, "Hey, Twitter, can you help me out?" And then next thing you know, the studio is reaching out to Billy Ray Cyrus and his wife, and he said first time he heard the song, he stood up and he was like, "I love this guy. He's original. Let's do it." And of course, I mean, you could have your feelings about Billy Ray or whatever, but he's got the number one song on record breaking song right now, and it ain't Achy Breaky Heart.
But it might break your heart.
Ooh.
But yeah, so yeah, well, Lady forgot what she was gonna say.
Yeah, you can keep talking. I forgot.
But yeah, so the song's just, I mean, Shay hates it.
Why did she hate it though?
Because I played it so much.
Okay, that is a valid reason to hate it. But to hate it just to hate it is messed up. That's just being a troll.
She didn't hate it just to hate it. She hates it because I played it so much.
Hashtag don't be a troll.
When might get that box out today.
Like my thing is like it's one of those it's so freaking catchy that it's like, your kids are playing it, it's everywhere, and it's just kind of like, I don't want to be the last on the bandwagon, you know what I mean? It's like, might as well just avoid it, and it's not my thing. I'm like, I like rap music, and I like some country music. I like outlaw country, like Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash. I don't like twangy country. Like country. Like even when you get into like Hank Williams, like I don't do that, because it's like, even some folk music, like if it's got a voice twang, I might be able to deal with it. If it's got a guitar twang, I might be able to deal with it. You put them together and I can't deal.
Give me like an example of twang.
He hates the Dixie Chicks.
Like,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Like
if
you're putting on a country, like, listen to anybody in English singing English, you can barely tell they have an accent, no matter where they're from. Except country music. You've got Keith Urban from Australia. Sounds like he's from the South of the United South and the United States. It's a put on. I don't like that fakeness. I don't like that.
I didn't know he was Australian.
He is.
Yeah, he really
a few months ago.
Yeah.
I was like,
So
what?
like I don't like that. Although like Garth Brooks in Pieces, like one of my favorite albums. Love some old school Tim McGraw. Don't Play the Girl plays. I Gotta Leave the Room. Still to this day, if I'm in the grocery store, it comes on, I'm out. I cannot hold it together. But I mean, so like, I mean, there's some of these things. Time Marches On, like old, like some of the older ones, you know.
Time Marches On is by Tracy Lawrence, one of the most twangy singers of all time.
But there's no vocal.
Time marches on.
One or the other, not both. But there's no music twang.
Oh my
in
gosh, no! You like what you like, and you get to hate on everything else.
No, I don't get to hate on it. It's just not my thing. Like
on the porch.
I get why. I get why people. I'm coming from the angle where I get why people don't like it, because like country music, like, okay, you've got your genres, right? I want to keep my genres on my plate, and I don't want my food to touch. Okay? But when I'm watching a movie, I want that shit mixed. You know what I mean? I want it all together. I want it to be like a gumbo goulash. Like, I want to see it all when I'm watching a movie. I don't care if it's genre bending. I love that. Give it to me. But when it comes to music, it's like I like Southern rock, but don't give me country music calling it like, don't give me Southern rock and call it country music, because I don't want country music. I want Southern rock. Like Kid Rock is not if you don't know, Kid Rock is a facade. He's not actually from Detroit. He didn't grow
Kid
up
Rock
as Eminem.
His,
it's a persona.
alter ego.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, he grew up in a middle income family, not in Detroit. Like, yeah, it's a persona. So like
persona.
Yeah. Just had to. So I mean, like, I don't like that. You know what I mean? I don't like the fakeness. I don't like, and even just the fact that country music was invented by this guy that they were making fun of, and he just kept pestering, and they finally let him record the album, and then they played it for all their friends, kind of like, listen to this guy, and it caught on.
Biggest mistake ever.
Yeah.
Everybody but Dylan, though. You cannot be aggravated at somebody who is taking something that's really catchy, making a hit out of it, and then saying that you're country and you can't listen to that, and then turn on Florida Georgia Line and drink your White Claw. That is ridiculous. You are not country. You bought your boots to go to the concert, okay? You don't get to do that. You don't get to hate on Lil Nas X because it's catchy and it makes sense. I think that's what people are upset about, is because he's from Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so like urban, but south.
You want to talk Florida Georgia Line?
Yeah, I mean, he's from the urban south. So like, if you tell me you're from Atlanta, Georgia, I don't automatically think you're country, but I think you're more countryer than somebody from New York.
Right.
You know,
yeah, and that's the thing, is like, Atlanta is urban, Georgia is country. So I mean, like, he's just being himself. Like, he's just putting out what he likes.
Just drive like 30 minutes away. It's nothing but trees and back roads.
Yeah, I mean, technically,
my
never rode a horse.
Right now is from Covington, but you don't have to ride a horse to be country.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's cowboys, and there's ranch, and I mean,
there's literally,
it's not.
Me and my friends, okay, I graduated with 24 people in my graduating class, okay? I'm from small town Arkansas, okay? But I am not horse girl country. I don't go to the rodeo and do this every other weekend and whatnot. And my uncle isn't my cousin too, but...
Oh my God, I'm dead.
But I'm from the small town
right
country, and so it's different, and it can be different. But you don't get to hate just because he's not your definition of what you decide is country.
Yeah, and she's got a valid point, because when you look at it, Like, yeah, I don't. This is what I like. That's fine. You can like what you like, but don't go tearing other people down just because you don't like it. Don't be a troll.
Like 56,000 thumbs down on his song on YouTube. Like, grow the heck up.
Yeah, that's messed up. Like, I mean, you can not like something, that's fine, but don't turn it into a crusade.
Yeah. All you had to do was move on and listen to Florida Georgia Line, and
I know if you can listen to Florida,
yeah,
if you can go ahead. If you can listen to Florida Georgia Line, then you should have no complaints.
Yeah.
About Lil Nas X.
It's the same thing. They literally did a song with Nelly. Or was it LL Cool J? It was one of them.
It was Nelly and Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
If you're not mad about Nelly and Tim McGraw doing a song together, you can't be mad about Billy Ray Cyrus, who y'all don't even care about. You didn't even listen to Billy Ray Cyrus. You only remember him from Hannah Montana.
Or what's that other show on
CMT? You can't be mad.
King of... or something, I can't remember. He had another show. The name
Tennessee
of the show.
Waterfall don't get nothing.
Oh,
okay.
Come on. He's
Tennessee Waterfall.
Don't disrespect the Billy Ray.
Don't get me. My dad has a mullet. Okay, I get to talk about mullets.
I think he trimmed it recently.
No, it's just a short mullet.
Yeah.
And he combs over the top. So it's a professional mullet.
Yeah, it's business. It's mostly business, is what she's saying.
I'll have to show y'all a picture of my dad. I hope he's listening.
Probably not.
He subscribed. So
cool.
He been listening.
So yeah, don't disrespect. He did have another show on CMT that was pretty cool looking. I never watched it, but
I didn't watch it.
There was the lady that was with him. Like she's a contemporary. She works around in this area a lot in film, and I cannot think of her name. It's like 3 names.
I gotta find out.
Yeah.
You're talking about Martina McBride?
No.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, speaking of Martina McBride, like that's small town country, right?
Dolly Parton?
Dolly Parton is more close to like outlaw country of like, she's like classic country.
Yeah.
She's an older generation
I can get
country.
down with Dolly Parton.
Talking about Dolly Parton, can we just have a Lil Nas X Jolene remix, please? I think it would spit fire. Okay,
yeah,
I'm trying to buy that mixtape.
Speaking of, let's go ahead and get into Lil Nas X came out.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Or quote unquote came out. Like he was out, but
he just
like when he
told the whole world.
Yeah, when he said it on Twitter, everybody was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were gay." And he was like, "I thought it was kind of obvious." I mean, when you look at like, I mean, you've got like an urban cowboy, like a rhinestone cowboy, a black dude. It's like, of course he's gay.
Still the King was Billy Ray Cyrus's show on CMT.
And what was the female co-star on that?
Oh, that's what I was looking at. Keep going.
But like going back and looking at everything, I was like, okay, yeah, I see it. And then there was like, okay, I was like suspecting, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be rude and ask.
And Lydia can get in, like, he's got a song called Closure.
Yeah. So he came out in his song Closure, and he thought that was obvious. He had already come out to his family. He came out in Closure, but nobody picked it up that he was talking about himself and talking about dealing with being in the LGBTQ community. And so when he posted it, he was like, I thought y'all already knew. Like, he posted the picture and like featured his song Closure, some lyrics at the bottom, and then with rainbow emojis. And so he just thought everybody knew.
Yeah, as if the bright orange fluorescent Cowboys jumpsuit wasn't enough.
That don't have to make him gay though. I mean, yeah, and Elton John isn't gay either.
he's the country
Well,
Elton
you
John.
know, when you get into it,
I mean,
when you really think about it.
I think everybody thought he was just really flamboyant back then.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was
doing
flamboyant straight dudes,
He was doing it to get people to the show. So the show's still the King. Are you talking about Joey Lauren Adams?
Joey Lauren Adams, yeah.
But can we talk about first? So Joey Lauren Adams was on Big Daddy. She was the sister that Adam Sandler falls in love with.
Kind of like a gruff voice.
Yeah, she really not that popular as an artist.
What's the proper way to not gruff? What's the proper
raspy?
Raspy.
She's got that raspy voice.
Yeah.
She's not like Amy Winehouse raspy, but she's kind of got some grit. But if y'all did not know, like I did not, that Leslie David Baker, who plays Stanley on The Office, is also in that show.
Yeah.
That kills me, and now I have to watch it because it's Stanley.
Is it still on? I don't know.
I don't know, but
I thought it got canceled.
Hulu, Vudu, Netflix,
it's out there.
HBO. I'm gonna find it somehow.
It's like a season
Somebody's
or two,
got an
at
episode
least.
on YouTube at least.
Yeah. So anyway, like Billy Ray has been in, just if nothing else, because of his daughter Miley. He's been in pop culture, like he's been there, like he is a veteran of pop culture. He's not going anywhere. He's not gone anywhere. He got nothing to prove. He's Billy Ray.
Those of us from where I'm from can kind of disagree.
Yeah, I mean, like
Billy Ray had his moments, okay?
Yeah, like I came up Achy Breaky Heart, One Hit Wonder, like blah ha ha Billy Ray. It was like a caricature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was a caricature of country music, so we don't really talk about Billy Ray.
Yeah, but I mean, like right now, like to be honest, first time I listened to Old Town Road all the way through was this morning, getting ready for this. And when Billy Ray Cyrus came on the screen, I was like, is Chris Stapleton in this?
He literally did. I was like, baby.
I know. Like, I like Chris Stapleton, you know? I was like...
That's funny.
But I mean, like, you want to talk about like country music stars that cross over. Chris Stapleton, Florida Georgia Line, Taylor Swift.
Brooks came up with his own persona
because he was so afraid
music.
of Chris Gaines.
Yeah,
he was so afraid of the backlash that and everybody was like, "Oh, we know that. We know who you are.
We're not stupid."
Yeah,
Garth
and nobody
Lee,
listened to it, and he just went back to being Garth Brooks.
Did somebody say Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she's saying teardrops on my guitar. Like our hearts cried with you too, baby. Okay, but then you switched hardcore, so y'all cannot be mad about
because you're still listening to Taylor Swift.
And what bothers me is, guess what? What do y'all do driving around the back roads? Because ain't nothing else to do if you're country. What do you listen to? You listen to rap. Don't even lie.
You know you do.
If I say Conway Twitty, y'all be like, who? Where? What?
Man, I ain't listen to Conway Twitty.
Exactly. Y'all don't even know.
Oh, darling.
I mean, you cannot.
Been a long time. Sorry. I had to get into it.
In a home,
Anyway, like, I mean, there are different flavors of country. They're just like there's different flavors of rock. I had to check myself because even like, you know, like I was saying, like, I don't want my food to touch. But when you come to rock music, like, mix it all together. Like, I love rock rap. I love all this other stuff, except I don't want my Southern rap. That's what it is. I want my Southern rock to stay Southern rock. Like, Leonard Skinner is not country music. It is rock music. Stop trying to make it country music. You know what I mean? All you Southern rock bands, stop pretending that you're country stars. You're not. You're
you
a rock
Southern
star.
rock bands? How many are there?
Go look through CMT and all these other ones.
I'm messing because there are none like Leonard Skinner. There really are no true Southern rock bands anymore.
Yeah, because they've been assimilated into the country music, and that's what ticks me off. Because like in the '90s, Southern rock, Pearl Jam, like all these people, like I mean, it's just like it was a thing. What?
I'm just cracking up. I'm gonna get on my soapbox for 2 minutes. I'm setting this alarm.
Not that Pearl Jam was from the South.
That's why I was laughing. I was like, Pearl Jam. Anyway, whatever. You're taking my time.
Go ahead.
Moods are fine. Like, you don't have to fit into this genre and never listen to this genre and never listen to this genre. It is a mood, okay? It is, I'm vibing, whatever today. I'm feeling thug, that's whatever. Or you're feeling hippie. Like, you don't have to pick and stay in one lane, okay? Like, you can crisscross, it can be fine, but you can't hate when you're not in one. If you can't mood like that and you can't be okay with that, you don't get to insult and bother other people who can vibe like that, okay? Like, I was feeling my inner Cholita today. You don't have to be mad that I'm not Hispanic and can roll my R's, okay? Abigail, if you're watching, she can't roll her R's and I get on her.
How does she even pronounce a double R then?
She don't.
She don't.
She skips that word. She speaks English.
Give me a churro.
I mean, whatever. But that's my soapbox. Like, people can vibe, and like Lil Nas X, if he's vibing that way, he can do whatever he wants. Y'all have got to stop.
Yeah, there's a fine line between, like, you can say, okay, well, it's just not good music. Like, and that can be your opinion. But I mean, there's a difference between what is like aesthetically good, or not aesthetically, but what is good as far as standards of music, you know.
His name,
but I'm sorry, but at the same time, like there's an opinion of what's good, and then there's a standard of like what is actually good. But there, at the same time, there is still boundaries and envelopes that can be pushed. Because if you look at Quentin Tarantino, like he does bad on purpose, and that's his style. He makes bad good. That's his flavor. That's his style, and he had to earn that. You know what I mean? And who doesn't love some Quentin Tarantino? Even the critics like Quentin Tarantino now.
It's Lydia's turn.
no, go hit it.
Okay. Y'all ever heard not Yo-Yo Ma? What's her face? Yoko Ono? Like any of her new music?
Yeah. Not a lot of her new music, but I've heard like one or two.
Like, yeah, so like critically, like they love her music, but it sounds weird.
Yeah, she's very...
it's a niche.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that Lil Nas X, his real name is Montero Lamar Hill. He is a blend all of his own. Like that is such a funny like blend of a name to me.
Montero Lamar Hill.
You gotta watch yourself on that one.
Well, I'm saying like it doesn't flow. It's not like Lydia Shell or I mean Hispanics don't even have a middle name, but I mean like it's like
oh, you in some territory right now.
Yeah, sorry, that's my middle name. But like Montero Lamar doesn't flow.
Okay.
Like it
Well, I mean, I don't know if my name flows.
What's your name?
You can't say it, we can't say it by itself. It's Quintaro Jermaine Ansley.
That's a mouthful, but it goes.
Yeah. I mean, like there's like a poetic role to certain names, like
yeah, exactly. Like it just sounds like it goes.
Yeah.
His name.
Yeah,
don't.
and then there's like
It's a
ones that
blend.
just don't fit like in the syllables. They don't roll. Anyways, but I mean that's a thing all to his own.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting into. Is like with the Quentin Tarantino thing is like you can create a style based on something that's outside the box of what people consider good or even consider to be actual music or whatever. It's like mumble rap. It's like, it's a thing. People love it, but it's like, I mean, I just sound like an old dude and go, you can't understand what they're saying. You know what I mean?
But I mean, the fact that like Lil Nas X is breaking down boxes. He is a gay black man singing country trap. Okay, you don't get outside of the box than that.
Yeah.
He called it that country trap. Like that's what it is.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get into is like, even though I'm coming from this background, it's like I like it this way and I don't like this and I do like this and I'm trying to avoid it to as much as possible. I can definitely get behind. Like, I don't like the fact that country music is not country music anymore and it's assimilating all these things and it's basically like everything and it's not in its own thing. But I can definitely get behind the force behind it where, I mean, like little Republican rodeo boys and girls growing up listening to a gay black man sing country music. That's what America needs right now. Where they're growing up and they're not going, I hate blacks, I hate gays. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? It's normalized. That's what people need. That's what America needs right now. That is the change that we need. That is the peace. That is the hopefulness. That is the togetherness that we need. So, I mean, I can 110% get behind that. You don't have to agree with people or like their lifestyle or live their lifestyle or anything, but they're people. Like, you got to treat people like people. You got to respect people. You got to love people. They're people.
You didn't know you was changing the world, huh, Lil Nas X?
For sure. Definitely changed my mind. I'm liking it. Like, I love the Old Town Road full video with Chris Rock. And did you see that one?
Chris Rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
What?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Literally.
What did he... What was he saying? Ah, shoot, I can't remember. Like at the end, he just kept repeating something. It was like
I don't know why in
outtakes.
my head I'm thinking giggity.
Yeah, that's what I was
Wasn't
thinking, but that wasn't it. Yeah, he was just like...
I can't remember.
He's like,
Watch it a second.
like he rides by on a horse and like so fast with a bag of money and like three black cowboys like Chris Rock is like at the head of them, and he's like,
Oh.
yeah, he's just like, I'm flabbergasted. I ain't never seen a black man on a horse move so fast. And he's like, sometimes you just gotta let him. That's my best Chris Rock. Yeah. Anyways, he's like, he was faster than a speeding bullet. He was like a greased bullet. It was like Afro Sheen on a bullet.
I didn't hear the Afro Sheen part.
He said something. It was hilarious.
That's what I like about it. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we know that we're a little bit different. We're going to take it all the way. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, they're just having fun with it. And that's what I love about, like, in the video itself, it even plays up the whole underdog element. It's like where he's, you know, in the West or whatever, and Billy Ray is like, oh, I got you, we'll take care of you here. And then
he even is like, last time I was here, they weren't too nice. He was like, well, you're with me now.
Yeah, and then people come around the corner shooting at him, and he jumps through this hole, and suddenly he's in Atlanta, and he's in the ghetto, and everybody's like, same thing, right? And he's
It's
just like,
so funny.
and then he, like, the song comes on, and this girl's like starts dancing or whatever, and it just kind of blows up from there at the end. And he races this dude on his horse, and he wins, and dude's like paying him out. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, my kids are on your horse. That is the man's property. We don't do that. It's like, I'm sorry for that. I don't mean to disrespect your property, sir.
Yes.
It was pretty great.
All right.
So, yeah. Go listen to Old Town Road, whatever
Don't miss
version of it you
Whatever,
like. I mean,
22 versions.
it's going to come at you in enough ways you're bound to like one. Yep.
Ready for that heavy metal version.
Oh, yeah. They ain't even got into
Nine
that.
Inch Nails gets a hold of it again.
Oh, yeah. It's based on one of their songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be
All right.
mad.
So, number 3
Number 3.
is last week we did D23 for Marvel, like what to expect. D23 is coming up. What? August?
It's next week.
Next week. So, what can we expect from Star Wars now? And there is a mixed bag because Disney's got a lot to prove with Star Wars. And if you guys don't know, D23 is kind of like their fan membership type thing, and it's like their own. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's like their own Comic-Con type thing, and they're really, really pushing it as like the biggest event in pop culture type thing, you know?
Is it kind of how like Apple has an announcement of all their stuff? It's kind of like Disney's version of
Yeah.
a nerdy thing like that?
Mickey Mouse comes out in a turtleneck and everything. Yep.
Screaming.
Hopefully we'll get Deadpool in the turtleneck. But so yeah, what do we expect from Star Wars? Right now, Disney's kind of on its heels. Just a little backstory of what's going on with Star Wars. Of course, everybody knows Star Wars was the biggest fandom for a long time, a huge thing. And George Lucas built it up. You know, the author, the creator, made most of his money off of the toy sales. To be honest with you, I mean, yeah, the movies, big deal, but the toy sales really, really pushed it over the edge, and kids are just super into Star Wars toys, and even collectors. It's a big deal. I had some Star Wars toys too.
I mean,
don't
Star
have them
Wars merch
anymore,
is
but-
bigger than Star Wars these days.
Yeah. So, but then George Lucas put Kathleen Kennedy over Lucasfilm and installed her as the head of Lucasfilm as Disney bought it. And so she came with the package. And so she's the head of Lucasfilm, and people have not really particularly been happy with the way she's handled it. And they're not really sure where to point the finger, whether it's because I've seen plenty of things saying Disney doesn't understand lightsabers, Disney doesn't understand Star Wars fans, Disney doesn't understand this or that or whatever, because it's been kind of hit or miss. We've been talking about getting... Huh?
Do you have a question? The Disney doesn't understand lightsabers. I've seen that as I scroll through things. I've never understood what that was. I never clicked on it.
Yeah, so basically, like, we get... before Disney took over, lightsabers chopping off arms and stuff, and really the only lightsaber like people. I mean, okay, so in Force Awakens, he slices Finn up the back,
like-
and it's
like-
like he
okay.
just it doesn't like rip him to shreds, and
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
And I mean, like, we get Kylo, did it in somebody's head, but really we've got him fighting lightsabers, and it doesn't do a whole lot. It's just played down the severity of a lightsaber cut,
Okay.
This is supposed to be a laser.
Right, yeah.
But they smooth use to like cut open thick metal doors.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. I mean, you think about
This
the
is a
prequels.
controlled laser beam that you're
Right.
just slicing through air.
Right, yeah. And like cauterized cuts, like the whole nine. But and also like also not only not understanding the physics of lightsabers, but also the hallowedness of lightsabers. Like in the original ones, like when Luke shows up with a lightsaber, Darth Vader is like, "Oh, I see that you've completed your training and you've made your own lightsaber." Like that is the pinnacle of becoming a Jedi. It's like you go into the cave or whatever, you pick out one of the crystals, and you
chooses you.
yeah, you build your own lightsaber. Like Rey borrowed somebody else's lightsaber. First time she picked it up, she knew how to use it. Finn
Super
never
did.
touched a lightsaber, not even a Force user, picks it up, and he's combating both of them combating a trained killer, a trained Jedi.
Yeah.
He's not a Jedi, but I mean, Kylo has been using a lightsaber since he was a kid.
Yeah, like he was trained by Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
dude who beat Darth Vader, who everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Oh snap, we can't beat this guy."
Exactly. And then these two new people who, "Oh, what is this?" Woo, 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 and kick Kylo's butt. It's
Yeah.
like, really? So, and so there's a whole lot to get into with that, just like the untouchableness of Rey and how she, like, at every turn, Luke failed and had to overcome it, and training, and
Girl just be rolling that 20s every time.
Exactly. And like even the first time she shot the lasers on the Millennium Falcon, took out 3 TIE fighters in one shot.
You know how many
Like
Luke
she
hit?
can't lose.
0.
Yeah. and so that's kind of like the thing right now with the fans is, we've got the build up with J.J. Abrams with Force Awakens that everybody seemed to love. Like some people had problems with it, but they were on board. And so we've got the buildup of Rey and like the specialness about her. But then we get The Last Jedi, and suddenly she's nobody. It was like, you mean to tell me she can do all this and she's nobody? Like
Right.
it doesn't add up.
It felt like you were going to drop a bomb and be like, "Oh, she is the one.
Mm-hmm.
She is better than a
she's
Skywalker. She's
chosen.
better than anything. She is unmatchable," but you didn't.
No.
Yeah, and most fans were along for the ride for that. But when it starts not making sense and not adding up, people tune out. And there's been a division in Star Wars fans there, especially after Last Jedi, there's been a division in Star Wars fans, and where some people are like, "Oh, it's a kids movie with laser swords and space wizards. Like, don't take it too seriously." But this is people's life. I mean, like, the people have been like come up on Star Wars, reading the novels. Like, this is their favorite thing. I mean, their entire life.
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was like the biggest fandom for a long time.
And you think about not only like the fans that have been invested in this, actors as well. This is Mark Hamill's legend that he will.
Yeah, his legacy, for sure.
That's what I was thinking of. Like, this is what he will live on. Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker. He is
Right.
not anyone else.
Harrison Ford's whoever he wants to be.
Yeah, we won't
But-
know about him.
But
I mean,
Carrie Fisher, like
yeah.
this, like
she is
Yeah.
Princess. She was Princess Leia.
Still
You
is.
know. And I mean, like the fact that even her daughter has started to play in Star Wars because it is exactly literally crying myself to sleep over it. Like, she has created a legacy, you
Yeah,
know? And
exactly.
so for not only the fans, but as well as the actors, like you're
Yeah.
just
So it's a
flipping on
big,
the
yeah,
bird.
it's a big deal for people to say, "Oh, quit taking it so seriously." It's like, what is your favorite thing? And let's crap all over that and see how you like it.
Oh, you
So-
like cheeseburgers? Here's a crap burger.
Yeah. It's a soggy patty. So, so anyways, like, so you got this split, you know, where people are like really upset about the way that Rian Johnson took Star Wars, and not even going to try to hide it, huh?
Well, they know what's happening anyway.
Yeah, if you watch anytime, like, she just yawns. That's just part of it.
Exactly. It's not that I'm tired. It's not that I'm bored. I just yawn. I don't. It's like
You
something
say
chemical
yawn.
in my
I'm
brain.
not gonna yawn. I'm cool.
We didn't say it. You should sneeze instead.
Or fart, whatever.
Please don't.
Yeah, so there's this division in the Star Wars fandom right now because a lot of people are upset, and some people are like, "Why are you so upset?" And to be honest, the management of Star Wars really hasn't done anything for the fans to acknowledge why they're upset or anything, which doesn't really make sense because usually the customer's always right, and people will say, "Hey, you're our audience. What do you want to see? What do you care about?" Instead of, "Oh, just quit being a man baby," and all the, you know.
Well, not only that, you're not doing fan service, but you're also not doing story service. You're not even servicing the creation of what this is. You're not even servicing the original content. You're just literally just flipping everybody the bird. It doesn't seem like you care about either one. You have to pick one, and you have to care about one.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's controversial, and because I mean there's truth in both sides of the argument, because it's a story and it's for fun and it's a kid's story or whatever, obviously not with chopping arms off and stuff, but I mean that was the intention, to be like Flash Gordon and all these things that he grew up on, but I mean it evolved obviously.
Yeah, it did.
And so, but then at the same time, it's like something that people really care about. I mean, like, look behind Quin. There's all kinds of Star Wars stuff. Like, I came up on Star Wars. It's David Bowie. So there is this built-in expectation, and you really can't just say, "Oh, you know what? Screw you," because I mean, look who's doing it well. Marvel. And Endgame, although story-wise didn't, like, they're still having issues trying to explain what happened and all this stuff. But people don't care because it was entertaining. It was fun.
It didn't feel like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, even me, who's like, I'm a stickler for when things don't make sense. And Lydia too. Like, even bigger than me sometimes.
He's created a monster.
Yeah. So, like, she used to not even be able to sit through a whole movie. And now she's just like, I don't like that.
I get mad. I'm just like, why don't you shut up?
Yeah. So, Endgame, like, I don't care that Endgame had issues. Like, fans will overlook the issues if it's fun, if it's a good time. You know what I mean? And Last Jedi just was not a good time. It was not fun. It didn't make sense. Like, at every turn, it was just like, what? What is? Why?
It would have been,
you know?
fine. Last Jedi would have been fine if, like, it wasn't the next chapter in this long 30, 40 plus year saga. If, like, it was just like a solo one-shot movie like Rogue One, like, oh, great, I love that movie. That was cool. But this is the next to last movie?
Right, it's 8 of 9. Like, it's got a lot. You got to stay consistent.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, to just suddenly veer off and go, "Oh yeah, we're not telling that story anymore." That just, it doesn't make sense. Like, because the next one is supposed to close out this saga, and you're already trying to close it out.
And now we got
like yeah, what are you going to do in the next film?
Like, even if you weren't gonna do, like, why did you even bring everything back? You had no plan at all, it seems like.
Yeah, and just to give a big FU to the fans of the franchise, like Rian Johnson has, is not smart business wise, and Lucasfilm might have been able to get away with that because, I mean, George Lucas does what George Lucas wants, and he has given a FU to the fans, but it is his story, it is his baby.
Yep.
He can do what he wants because he is the creator.
Yep.
But then he does a certain amount of fan service too. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's a balance to be had. And because not everybody wants everything fan service either.
And he's not killing characters or whatever. He's not doing disservice to the fans by doing things that don't align with character arcs, don't align with storylines, just to say F you. It's different when like you're like, man, sorry, this is kind of where the character has to go. I know that you love them, but I've got to do it. It's just where they're going right now.
Yeah.
Da da da.
Yeah, as long as long as you can look back and see the threads pulled together,
Right.
it makes sense. Like even with Game of Thrones, I mean, and Benioff and Weiss and all this stuff, like them saying F you to the fans or whatever, we're just appending expectations. Like nobody wants that. Yes, we want our expectations appended, but like George R. R. Martin said in one of his blogs, like if you're working towards, and it is obvious that the butler did it, and you've been writing your story that way, and then suddenly it's the scullery maid, like you've hijacked your own story, and it doesn't make sense.
If people can look back and be like, oh shoot, I did miss that. Oh dang, that was this thing.
Yeah.
That's fine.
They want satisfaction, not just to be appended.
Closure. That's what we want. We don't want you crapping all over everything. If you're going to put a bow on it, make that bow belong there. Make it pretty. Try your hardest. It's okay if it doesn't turn out perfect. It's the thought that counts. It's wrapping the present. It's that you went out and bought that ribbon. But if you just be like, oh, sorry, I forgot your birthday.
What, you don't like it? What's your problem?
Well, I like it.
Yeah, it's like, it's not about you.
Exactly.
Oh, it's not?
That's what
Like,
you're
you
doing.
wouldn't
That's not what
be
we're looking
here
for.
without the fans. So, I mean, that's the thing right now. And there's this division, and, you know, it just... Are
we going to get another trailer, or are we done with trailers?
No, we've got one trailer so far.
So are they going to release it at D23?
Hopefully. But let me finish my thought here. So, but the numbers have come out, and I like the way, like they're okay. So there's big fan, with several fandoms right now. There is this fan backlash, and some creators are saying, hey, you know what? That's great that we get to hear the feedback, because feedback is our lifeblood to staying relevant. What?
Sorry, I'm trying to get my vest off.
Oh, I thought that face was for my statement.
No.
So feedback is like, anybody knows who is in business or is writing stories or whatever, or is in any creative field, to a certain extent, you need feedback because you need to know if it's good, right?
Yes.
And so some creators are out there and they're saying, yeah, Seth Rogen, who did Preacher and all these other ones, and produced The Boys, who had some choice things to say at Comic-Con about Benioff and Weiss and Game of Thrones Season 8, is out there saying, hey, you know what? Let us know if we're doing good. Let us know. We want to do better. We want to satisfy you. We're out here for the fans. And Marvel, who's out there saying, hey, yeah, show us, what do we need to do? What makes you happy? That's where the money is. You know, everybody's happy. But for somebody to say, oh, well, we don't care what you say, or we're going to do what you want to do. If you want to do that, go right in a vacuum, go do your thing, but don't expect Star Wars level, Marvel level fandoms. You know, you might have a little cult favorite or whatever, and people love that. That's fine. There's a place for that. But the numbers are out. And the tide is turning, where most people are saying, well, the fans don't really get to have a say in this. People are actually starting to come out. Daisy Ridley say, well, you know what? The fans actually do have a right to be ticked off. And even like some people who were in Game of Thrones Season 8 saying, hey, you know what? I'm a fan too, and I didn't like it either. So the tide is turning, and the numbers are out. People, and so much so that people are even speculating that the deal that Disney made with Lucasfilm, that George Lucas was probably supposed to get some of the money that came from them investing or putting out old content. like the OG content and what came before. So that's why Disney is pushing so hard the new stuff, because then they don't have to pay George Lucas. They don't have to pay him for that. So like this is speculation, but it's kind of makes sense because Disney's pushing it so hard. And so the numbers are out, and Galaxy's Edge, that the theme park that just came out over the summer and at Disney World, I mean, it's a Star Wars theme park. Like, who doesn't want that? Apparently the fans. Because Galaxy's Edge is pushing hard the new fandom, the new Star Wars. And that's why people are like, and people aren't showing up, and it is not performing the way they're expecting, and they've had to lay people off. And that is not what you expect from Disney.
No.
They've had to lay people off, or they've had to cut their hours?
Cut their hours. Sorry.
I was about to say, they haven't laid people off. They have cut their hours, but they did like release a statement. It was like, well, when they signed their contract, they full time is 30 to 40 hours, and we haven't gone below 30 hours, which can be true. But when for 4 months they've been working 48 hours, and then you schedule them 29.3, that's not that is cutting their hours, you know. And so
and they planned for the park to be so overflooded that they were putting out like certain passes. They had planned to put out certain passes, and they had to scrap that plan altogether because there's no long lines or anything.
I was about to say, like, they were expecting like 2-hour wait lines, and you're waiting like maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah,
that's how long it takes to get on a ride at Silver Dollar City in Branson. Okay, calm down. We're talking about Anaheim.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this Disney World or Disneyland?
This is at Anaheim.
Oh, so this is at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was at Disney World. Oh, the other one is coming out is Disney World.
Right.
There's another one that's to come.
The Disneyland at Anaheim Star Wars has like a full-size Millennium Falcon, and you can build your own droid.
Yeah,
so it
lightsabers.
Sounds cool.
Why can I not go here?
Right?
Yeah, and they've got the bar or whatever.
Sounds neat.
Yeah.
But there's no service to the fans who can buy a ticket.
Yeah.
You're servicing children and not the adults who have waited their whole lives to live in this world.
Exactly. And that even shows, because Bloomberg has recently put out an article showing that the new generation isn't into Star Wars. Toy sales are down, which is a big deal. And everybody will say, well, that's because the old Star Wars. The Force Awakens toy sales were on par. So you can't really say. The only contributing factors, or the common denominator, seems to be fan disservice from The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that one right there.
That is the common denominator. And the numbers are out, and there's no denying it now. Fans are pissed. And Disney is not going to sit around and let Lucasfilm bleed money.
Bro, why did you kill Snoke? There's so many things. But
yeah, I mean, so much so that like even like Fox, they've basically killed Fox because it is leaking money. It is bleeding money right now. Like Disney does not invest in losers.
Wow.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said, but not Michael J. Fox.
Oh, of course not. Nobody.
We get it because he trended. We thought he was.
So, what can we expect from D23 going forward? As we've set up very detailed, they've got a lot to prove, and they've got a lot to do, and it seems like they're making strides in that direction because they brought J.J. Abrams back, who is basically like retconning some of the stuff that Rian Johnson retconned from his first one. So could we of course we're going to get news on the rise of the Skywalker, and even putting Skywalker in the name is a big nod to the fans, because if you remember in some of the interviews with Mark Hamill and Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, like they were like, Mark Hamill was like, oh, this is not a Skywalker story. Like, those stories are done. And they were like, whoa, wait a minute. This is a Skywalker saga. And Rian Johnson is like, what? Huh?
But also, like, in the last one or whatever, they made it seem like Daisy Ridley character is not a Skywalker, and then you killed the other Skywalkers that you have. So,
yeah,
well, I mean,
Carrie Fisher.
Princess Leia is still alive. But at some point,
Yeah, two.
she's gonna have to go. I really don't know how you're gonna continue a lot of this. Like, that's gonna be a sad moment, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not her rise because you can't film new product with her. And so
Right.
it's not her. It's not Mark Hamill, it's Luke Skywalker.
Even though
you killed him.
he's in it, but we're talking potential Force ghosts
Time travel.
or time travel.
I'm
I mean,
excited.
and there's a lot of theories about that going on right now. Like if he's coming back for real, or if it's flashbacks, or if it's Force ghosts.
If it's flashbacks, it needs to be the Winter Soldier that plays him. They look identical.
Sebastian Stan.
Yes, they look like the same person when Mark Hamill was young.
For real.
So other than a new trailer, what else are we like? What are they saying about it?
Yeah. So, really, I mean, they're kind of being quiet. There's a lot of like leaks out there, and we're getting like some.
I saw a trailer leak, and I'm not gonna share it with the world because I don't know how accurate it is, but it was kind of weird.
Yeah. There's supposed to be this big fight of course, the big fight at the end. And of course, there's official content that they're putting out, like the Sith Troopers. We've got the Vanity Fair photos. We've got the actual trailer, but they're putting it out sparingly. So we should get a big dump. We're expecting a big dump. We're expecting a big
in reality,
content
we're not wrong.
upload. Yeah, we're drinking a lot of coffee.
That's not what I meant. I meant like it's gonna be crap.
Depending on which side of the fandom you're on.
It's gonna be a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so we should get a lot at this D23. As far as Rise of Skywalker goes, Rise of Skywalker goes, of course there's fanboys out there that Star Wars can do no wrong or whatever, and who
Can.
Yeah. And I mean, and I get where Daisy Ridley's coming from. Like, you're working for a director, Rian Johnson, and you don't want to criticize the project that you're on and the people you're working with and the creative team. Yeah. I mean, not only that,
Blackball.
you don't want to be that person who's out there. Mark Hamill can flex all he wants. He's not going anywhere. Nobody's going to stop hiring Mark Hamill unless he has like a major, problem or whatever.
Are like, there's like a lot of rumors, this is getting slightly off topic, that they want him to like come in and play a live action Joker for Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
He's coming back as the trickster for sure.
But you don't want to be Joey Tribbiani and get yourself written and thrown down an elevator because you crap talk.
Yeah. Yeah, and believe it, that happens for sure. And that's well documented. If you look back into stuff, people talking and being wrote out of things. Katherine Heigl, people getting blackballed because they're not fun to work with, or nobody likes them because they're just kind of an asshole or a bitch.
Not
or
only that, is they do that and then they go talk crap about who they're working with, and people are like, you know what?
Yeah. So I mean, you've got to stay. You've got to stay positive. You've got to be professional.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
think Daisy Ridley handled it well. She was like, hey, you have a right to be upset, but I'm not going to talk crap.
Yeah, but at the same time, like me and Quin were talking about earlier, it's like when you work for a bad boss and you're just trying to make the best out of it, but then you go work for a good boss and you're just like, wow, that was really bad.
it's a dark time in my life.
Yeah.
I'm so
You know,
sorry.
yeah. And you realize, so now she's back under J.J. Abrams, who everybody loves, who is well known for being good at what he does, for being professional, and just being brought. I can't say enough good things about J.J. Abrams. He does his job and he does it well.
And we work with him all the time, so we know really close.
I wish.
I always think it's funny when people are like, this is a great guy.
As
Ain't
far
never
as
met him.
like his vibe in the industry, like I have not seen anybody bad mouthing J.J. Abrams. Of course, they might.
Maybe they just pay him enough money.
Well, I was just about to say they might end up in a ditch.
Right, exactly. Or kill himself.
Epstein. Yeah. Anyways, J.J. Abrams is trying to give the fans what they want and bring closure in this story, and it's supposed to bring everything back where it's supposed to be. So, and he's got. I don't envy him. in the job that he's got in front of him.
No,
but
not at all.
if there was anybody that could do it, he can do it.
Abrams.
Yeah,
Only two options.
he can do
I
it.
mean, we vote for the first one, but
Yeah.
we'll settle
I mean,
for the
we
second.
thought Joss Whedon could take care of Justice League too, but it's not the same situation. But
I would've just
guess
redid
a
the whole
loose
movie.
reference. Yeah. So
But
I mean,
yeah.
there's some things he's got to fix or whatever. But obviously, Disney is stepping in and saying, you know what,
not-
Kathleen. And also, another thing is they have hired their own Kevin Feige that is supposed to like connect everything and make sure everything is consistent and all this kind of stuff. And there's even some quota like if it could be considered backlash for that because the lady that has the job is relatively young. She came up under J.J. Abrams, so that's promising. But the title that she has had with past movies is like associate producer. And that's a mixed bag because that could be anything from gave money to the movie and never showed up on set to got a coffee or came through with this costume idea or was actually day in and day out there doing the job. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. And even Kevin Feige, when he stepped into the role of Marvel, everybody was like, what are his qualifications? But he's knocked it out of the box, obviously. So hopefully she does too. So we're going to reserve judgment on her and just give her a shot and see how she performs. Hopefully she'll do well.
So she's the person who's supposed to connect all the dots together and like make sure they're connected. I don't understand why you wouldn't have George Lucas do that.
Well, go ahead.
I feel like the dots are already connected. I really like in the Star Wars universe, like there's not anything that's not connected to something else in some other way.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's
like-
all intertwined.
Yeah, like it's
It's its own Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
All you have to do is shoot it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like film it, like make it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's there, ready.
That wasn't the reference that I didn't get. The Twin Peaks one.
Oh,
You didn't get the Twin Peaks?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry.
what?
He didn't get it last time either. It's okay. Keep going.
Okay.
So, one of the reasons, like they've come up with a lot of reasons why Star Wars isn't performing well, and one of the things they said with like Solo coming out and it wasn't doing well, and they had a Boba Fett one on the burner, they had Kenobi on the burner, they had a bunch coming out, getting ready to come out, and they nixed all that when Solo didn't do well because Han Solo is one of their biggest properties, right? It didn't do so hot, and because of some of course fan backlash. But also just some of the story just it's like, what's this? What that? But it ended up being a fun movie either way. But some people are like, some fans are just holding grudge, like they're pissed.
Yeah.
I'll give it to them.
And in all honesty, even if Solo came out, like if you switch Rogue One and Solo, because those really only two like one-shot movies they have right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you switch them and put them in position, I think Rogue One would have just done just about the same as Solo, and Solo might have done better before Episode 8.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you had somebody that looks nothing like Harrison Ford playing young Harrison Ford.
Ish, you know.
Ish.
But it was
he has
right.
the squarest jawline of anybody I've ever seen, and Harrison Ford has no chin.
Well, also, it was after they killed Han Solo too.
Yeah.
So.
We're already pissed.
And it was after
Which is
Let the
why
Past Die and killing off.
It should have came out after Solo should have came out after Episode 7.
Yeah.
Like Solo's dead. Everybody's like, oh no, Solo, young Solo.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So hopefully this Kevin Feige-ish person, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. She's supposed to make sure that all the dots are connected and that they're staying on track. And even like what I was talking about earlier, like part of the speculation as to the Disney Lucasfilm deal where they don't take on any of George Lucas's own stuff, because he had treatments for all 3 films and they refused to use them. They wanted to do their own thing, which is dumb to begin with, because the creator himself is giving you,
He gave you the template.
Exactly. And they went their own way, which is fine, but they have brought him on set and he has been helping with Rise of the Skywalker. So they've course corrected a little bit and realized where they went off. That would be like, oh, we bought Marvel, but Stan Lee isn't going to be a part of anything anymore. Like, that would be dumb. Like, how are you going to do that? Like, Lucasfilm is just making all the wrong steps, but they don't see the correlation. They're like, oh, that's the fans' fault. It's toxic fandom. You're treating the fans like crap. Of course it's toxic.
I mean, like,
of course
the
they're
difference
ticked off.
between the sequels and the prequels. Prequels, George Lucas shouldn't have directed. That was his fault. But they, like, overall, like, I appreciate
people warming
them.
up to the prequels, though.
Yeah, like, I'm starting to appreciate them more, and then, like, kind of reading, like, the books that go along with it. Like, I get the more, like, there's things that were left out, so I get the intent more in a lot of things, and it was probably a little darker than I actually remember now. But with the things with
Especially
the sequels,
episode 3.
oh my goodness, with the things with the sequels, it's just like Force Awakens was cool. The Last Jedi was trying not to be Star Wars so hard that it was Star Wars, but then it wasn't at the same time.
Yeah, Rian Johnson was trying to start his own trilogy already, is basically what it boils down to.
Yeah. So
The lady's name is Michelle Rejuan.
Michelle,
I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce her name.
Character, and I don't want to put her in a box and I want her to do her own thing or have the freedom to be her own person. So that's what I'm apologizing for not saying her name and comparing her to other people or whatever.
It's just the role she's in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they've got a lot to prove, a lot to do, a lot of work to do. And of course, it's obvious the numbers are in, and Disney is stepping in, and they're course correcting. Hopefully, it's not too little, too late. Supposedly, bringing on people like Rian Johnson, who the fans are not happy with, to do his own trilogy, is probably not a good idea. Bringing on Benioff and Weiss from Game of Thrones to do their own trilogy at this point, after their failure in season 7 and 8, and fans are not happy, that's probably not a good idea.
Wait, what? Season 7 was a failure?
That's where it started to fall apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and them, the way they're handling it, I think says a lot about them and their career right now.
Oh yeah, them not showing up to Comic-Con at all or anything. Like, yep.
Yeah.
I get you.
So, Lucasfilm should take note. And even though I would love to see, I would love to have, Game of Thrones season 1 through 5 or whatever, or 6 or whatever, version, like those writers doing a Star Wars. That would be great. Like, I think that's what they're hoping for. But I don't want season 7 and 8 writers doing a Star Wars. So if that's where they're at right now, I'd rather them not do a Star Wars. So, but we might get at D23 an announcement of their Star Wars universe. Supposedly there's a Knights of the Old Republic in the works, and maybe it's them, or maybe it's Rian Johnson. Who knows?
I'm hoping it's them.
Yeah.
Rian Johnson will just make it weird, and there'll be only 2 lightsabers the whole trilogy.
Rian Johnson is too original for his own good. Like, he doesn't even he just needs to get out of Star Wars, because he doesn't care about Star Wars. He cares about Rian Johnson, what Rian Johnson wants to do, which is fine. I say it's fine, but even Quentin Tarantino has directed TV shows of other things. And you're talking about super original, super quirky, super his own thing, has made TV shows of other things, and they jive perfectly. They're not out of step with the original content, and he's wanting to make one of his last movies Star Wars or Star Trek. And like an R-rated, it's like his take on Star Trek, but he's enough of a fan that people aren't afraid of what he'll do to Star Trek.
He's gonna put a hole to somebody's chest at least once. I'll be about it.
Yeah. So, that's the problem with Rian Johnson. It's like Rian Johnson, Knives Out, Rian Johnson's own thing, great. Let him have at it, but don't give him something that he doesn't care about, And which is, I think, smart of Jordan Peele saying, hey, you know what? I'm not going to direct Blade because that's not something I'm interested in. Like, if he did Blade, probably wouldn't be good because it's not what he wants to do.
No.
Like, go let him do his own stuff and let it be awesome. You know, it's like, go let Rian Johnson do his own thing, let it be awesome, but don't give him Star Wars because he don't care. Anyway, so hopefully we'll hear an announcement that those things have been nixed, but I doubt it. We'll probably get more information on that. It depends on how heavily handed Disney's going to be in the course correction. Because it's obvious that Disney's stepping in and they're making changes and fixing things. But we should also get more in the line of the animated universe. And all this is, I guess this is because they're branching out and, you know, trying to, I started to say this a minute ago, that one of the reasons they said it wasn't doing well is because they were trying to follow the Marvel version and put things out like this and like that. I don't think that's the problem. I think like there's enough of a fandom that they could put things out every year if they wanted to. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, part of the mystique of Star Wars is the wait. Yeah. And I think just in general, I mean, it's got merit because comic books are a different medium. And yeah, we don't want to wait. Because these stories are so interconnected that they continue, and if they wait, it's a detriment to their thing. Star Wars, you can wait because it's going to give you an update around the first 15 seconds of the movie on the screen with the scroll down. You know, so you can wait and do it right, and that's part of the pizzazz or whatever the what the fans like about the movies is like the wait and the speculation and the build up. You know, that is part of it. So that makes sense. But they still could do spin-offs and all these other things in between and even shows, the animated TV shows have done well and they're on a regular basis and fans have really clung on to that. And then Disney Plus, we've got The Mandalorian come out and they've already started working on season 2 for that. Mm-hmm. And season 1 hadn't even come out. Disney Plus hadn't even come out, but we got, you know, I have confidence in Jon Favreau, but he also did Lion King. But he was so much fan service that it was like to a detriment, you know, where he basically like scene for scene in some places. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be excited for Star Wars, but at the same time, they've got a lot of work to do on the Rise of Skywalker end. You could probably speak more about the video games, the comics, the animated.
The video game, I mean, they got one coming out this November. They have The Fallen Order, and they have, you know, actual actors just getting scanned into the game. The story takes place at the end. It takes place where most of the other stories take place, between episode 3 and episode 4. But this is just like months after the fall of the Jedi Order, and is fallen a Jedi who's been in hiding. He has to come out of hiding, and he's slowly starting to find himself in places that what will become the Rebel Alliance is, and he's probably going to end up, you know, being a part of the original alliance when they form. But he also has Kylo Ren powers, so I feel like it might go up to like Kylo Ren being a Jedi and he end up getting killed by Kylo Ren.
And it'd be like Highlander and he absorbs his powers.
But as far as like games, that's really the only thing they have coming out. They haven't said anything about, you know, Battlefront 3, which DICE and EA does have, who's also making The Fallen Order.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing with EA.
Yeah. What else is there?
The Mandalorian timeline is like the battle of, I forget. It's after episode 6.
Oh.
It's supposed to take place in that time. And it's not actually, the Mandalorian isn't Boba Fett, but it's a Boba Fett type character. Yeah. So yeah, you get in Star Wars lore, the Mandalorians are basically
just bounty hunters.
Yeah, they're bounty hunters, and that's kind of like the order that Boba Fett came from, and that's why his armor looks similar.
Yeah.
And Pedro Pascal from Game of Thrones is playing the Mandalorian.
The Viper.
Yes, and it looks amazing. Super excited. Like, Jon Favreau basically had this idea and came to Disney and was like, I'm a Star Wars nerd. Can I do this? And they were like, well, let's hear it. And he told them, and they were saying, yeah. So, and it is one of the most anticipated shows for Disney Plus.
Cool. All right.
As far as the animated shows, they're bringing back. Was it?
They're finishing out Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It has one more season, and it's supposed to like wrap everything up, tie right into episode 3, and then whoop, into the Clone Wars. As well as,
and one of the things about Clone Wars is that it keeps things exciting because it's not just regurgitating what we already love about. It's not just straight up fan service. It's new characters. It's new information. It's building upon what's already out there in a way that makes sense, even though you did get a little iffy with the time travel stuff.
It did,
but
it's okay.
One of the great comics right now is Vader, right?
Oh yeah, the Vader comic. There's been 3. There's been 3. This is the 3rd version of it. First version the first version that came out in 2017, it was 25 issues that just kind of went over Vader getting to that legendary status that he has, where like somebody hears his name and it's like, oh, you're Vader. And then the second version, it's him getting his Inquisitors, and how some of the relationships he developed within the Empire, of like him and Grand Admiral Tarkin.
Oh, I don't know.
It's the old man with the skeleton face. But the Grand Admiral Tarkin and the Inquisitors that he has, that Vader has, they're all dead now. That went around just hunting Jedi for him, as well as his relationship with the Emperor and how it slowly was starting to deteriorate. And Vader was always wanting to overthrow the Emperor. Every time he did, the Emperor always found out before he could.
Because he's the Emperor.
Yeah, it was like, no. Bzzz, yeah. Kneel. So, and then this current iteration is Vader getting his castles that he has just throughout the galaxy. And his first one that he got was on Mustafar, and he got a ancient Sith artifact that can actually like build things. That was a helmet, and I forgot the Sith Lord's name. But he got that and built his first castle on Mustafar, and and this actually ends up going to episode 4. After he defeated Obi-Wan Kenobi, he took his lightsaber and he put it on a pedestal there. And Luke found it afterwards.
Aww.
Yeah. But that's...
Yeah, filling in the gaps and stuff like that. And we didn't even talk about Rise of the Skywalker, the implications of the Emperor's laugh at the end, like that.
Oh yeah.
Surely we'll find out more about that and what's going on. Of course, and I mean, of course, J.J. Abrams is not going to reveal his hand completely, but just enough to keep the tease and
keep you interested.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get some confirmation on if Reylo is a thing or not.
No.
If you guys are shipping Reylo, Kylo and Rey. Are they related or are they not? Or cousins. Are we pulling more Star Wars? I mean, is that why we're pulling in the Game of Thrones writers? Because we're keeping along that route. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. All right.
But we'll see if they're related or not. There's big rumors that, of course, we'll find out Rey's real name and everything is going to be revealed. So super excited to find out what JJ does with this new movie. That's what I'm excited about most, is like getting information on that. So, I mean, to me, yeah, I want to find out about the Emperor. I want to find out about what's going on with Kylo and the Knights of Ren. I want to find out what's going on with Rey and her backstory. I want to find out what's going on with Luke Skywalker, and if he is... does he have old knowledge? Are we going to get an appearance from Darth Vader and Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker? Are we going to get Ewan McGregor as Ben Kenobi?
I feel like he'll be Obi-Wan. I mean, he is Ben, but he'll be Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, yeah. Obi-Wan is his Jedi name.
Yep.
So, I mean, and which one of these families is Rey part of, if any?
She's still a clone.
She's Yoda's son.
She does have 20 ears. No, I'm just kidding. Just tied back. Anyway. So, yeah, I mean, and I also, of course, want to see the unshown footage of Carrie Fisher. Because they're keeping, like, originally she was supposed to play a big part in season 3. Episode 3, or not episode, it's not even episode 3, it's episode 9.
Oh.
She was supposed to play a big part in this, but of course her untimely death. So they're using previously unseen footage from Force Awakens. I don't know if they even have footage from Last Skywalker because she was in a coma the whole time.
They have a little bit. I mean, the footage of her hugging Daisy Ridley in the trailer is actual footage. So, like, they shot a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the first hug was from The Force Awakens. But, yeah, so there's hopefully a lot that they haven't been able to use that they'll be able to. Of course, J.J. Abrams' master, and we'll figure out how he's going to use all that. And at this point, at first, I was super against a CG version of Leia, but
they already did that with the other guy, though, so.
Yeah. With Rogue One.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not so against it anymore. If it helps the story and it makes sense and it pays homage in a respectable way, I could be on board.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not that you need my take on it, but
yeah.
Anything else on that?
I think that is it.
All right.
All right.
So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys joining us on YouTube and or podcast. If you want to keep the conversation going, of course, you can comment below. If you want to support the show, you can find all that information on the website or the show notes. That website is www.broken.picturesno.com. And don't forget that you can leave us voice messages and or questions and comments that we can play on the show. You go to www.anchor.fm/The FOMO Show to talk to us. And YouTube viewers, please big likes right now. The algorithm is wanting likes. Feed the like machine. And please subscribe and hit the little bell icon for notifications of new videos. And podcast listeners, please leave us 5 stars in your podcast app. We appreciate that. My name is Dylan.
And I'm Lydia.
This is Quin.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.